to kind of build up to that. And the puck can be kind of hit and miss depending on how well you connect with your supports.
All
So
right.
I expect Fusion to be the ones looking. They've got the arrow combinations. They've got the global presence. They don't need too much farm, so they can kind of set the pace in this game.
Let's get those predictions in right now while we can, Jonathan. I mean, I realize the game has started, but gotta get those predictions in. Team with the first barracks kill, John. Who's getting the first racks kill?
Oh, that's tricky. I want to say Fusion. It could be either one because Vici can also do it. Ideally, Fusion does push a little bit faster with the NP, so you'd expect them to kind of do it.
I'll save Vici Gaming then, just in case. Highest net worth, Jonathan. Quickly, we haven't got that much time, Jonathan. 35 seconds. Who's the
Highest
highest
net
net worth in
worth,
the game?
God King. God King. I'd say God
Okay.
King.
And the number of player deaths by 10 minutes?
6 to 10.
Okay, okay, fair enough. When will the first blood happen, John?
0 to. You know what? Yeah, 0 to 3 minutes. I think. That's just me. Don't follow.
I'm gonna
my
go for
choices.
3. I'm not following you, Jonathan. I'm going the exact opposite. That's why I'm asking.
Good.
There you go.
All right.
BAB.
The battle begins.
Not gonna go for a fight.
I am unfamiliar
Actually, yeah,
with this feeling.
A 2 for 2.
Joy.
I thought it might have been a 3 for 1. 2 for 2 trade. Very, very even kind of start. No team fight to break out from either side. John, let's start with the mid lane this time around. You're going to have White Album there on the Kunkka, and he'll be against XM on the puck. Any kind of advantage for either team? Do you feel like it's an even matchup? Anything we need to keep an eye out for in this mid lane?
Yeah, Kunkka always has a better time. Tideburn just rips through the puck. You don't have the best armor. The physical output is just obnoxious for the puck. Puck can play around with the illusory ore, but for the most part, White Album has control in this lane, and XM's going to have to work double time to trade back as best as he can and find as much CS as he can, as White Album just gets bigger and bigger from there on.
So,
I think nautical.
a lot of damage going the way of XM. White Album with a very nice torrent, and one of those things against the Kunkka, just always so annoying against that Tidebringer hit. Even at level 1, it's just so much damage. XM, even on the puck, just has to be very careful about how much damage he is taking from White Album. Torrent thrown out, not going to land, not even landing on the range creep this time around, but it won't matter. He does have the Tidebringer hit once again. We'll have a look at the side lanes as well. Of course, top lane, you're going to have Erika and Yang against Fishman. Of course, it's Mirana as well. You talked about the Slider Mirana combination. It does seem very, very potent. Assuming you can get those initial stunts off with the Slider, but never mind that, because bot lane is where the first blood is going to happen. BAB and Frisk going to be able to find XCJ. John, nobody likes to show off, John. Nobody likes to show off.
Going back to this lane though, excuse my smugness. This can be really aggressive. Like we talked about the Mirana from Victoria, and you just need a bash into arrow, then you just run around, kill someone off. Yang, once he runs out of mana and mango, it's like Disruptor does lose out on a lot of its presence. Mirana can trade fairly nicely, so you're not gonna have a good time just forcing the issue there. And Fishman, despite having that bash ability onto Erika, every time Erika trades back and there's no bash coming through, well, he rips right through Strength Heroes. So you still have a lot of play there for the Lifestealer as well.
Absolutely. Fusion so far unable to really get that arrow combination going here on Erika. He's still looking very, very healthy and just happy to just man fight against Victoria. Fusion again, giving away first blood here to Vici Gaming. Not going to feel the best, especially giving it over to BAB on that Timbersaw. Always going to feel rather problematic as now XCJ, again, going to be in a spot of danger. And with the Whirling Death, the amount of stats you remove, it's so hard for the +5 Dawnbreaker to survive through this. BAB, he has another, easiest kill of his life, and he's even got the creep wave nearby. Why the hell not? Just drag it along with him. Just nothing that this Dawnbreaker can do.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the Dawnbreaker 5 here. It doesn't do much in this lane. Melee up against Timbersaw plus Marcy is not favorable. Not much the NP can really do to help you until he gets Sprout. And you can try Sprout Starbreaker, but that's also at the point where BAB is going to be tanky, and he's already at that point. At the least, you're not stopping God King from farming. So he does have a lot of room to just CS. He's not under threat of dying. At the same time, this Timbersaw should hit its spikes early. It is a Yule's Rush, so he does understand that he's going to need to be freeing himself up from some control down the line, but the timing does look to be pretty good for that Timb.
Certainly does. BAB should be able to set a tempo for his game, or rather his team, in this game number 1. Can try to harass him all they like, but BAB will just stand there and take it. Look at this. XCJ, I mean, he tries for a Starbreaker. BAB just doesn't, he really doesn't care. There's no problems here for him. On the brighter side, at least for Fusion, stacks are being made in the triangle as Victoria will get those started, and you probably are going to need those stacks considering the start they've had to this game. Might be White Album the one to take it on this Conker. Well, White Album, he's having a very good game this far on the Conker. Top of the CS board, 27 and 11. Much further ahead than XM, and already out leveling him by 1 level as well.
It's to be expected from the matchup. It's just not great for Puck. Every time you want to CS, you have to walk up, cop a Tidebringer, Tret the Torrent.
Well, Yang was trying to get done there, but Victoria was making it very obvious where he was. Yang obviously trying to steal a creep away here from Fishman, but ends up giving his life away to Victoria.
Yeah, maybe looking for a bit of a reset. You don't generally want to feed a kill to the enemy though. You'd rather just go to the tower and take care of yourself there. Still, you are buying space out for Erica. The farm is building up for the Life Sealer, so I guess overall, if you sacrifice your Disruptor to do so, you don't mind too much. But you have to be weary of that strong start from Fishman. Fishman, we've seen before, does tend to dictate the games for Fusion quite well, and if he does get that quick blink timing, maybe an Echo Saber on top or a Mask of Madness, it can just unfold very quickly from that point.
Yeah. Fishman. Chase here from Erica. Nice little glimpse back from Yang. Fishman slowed up now. A Thunderstrike not going to make it easy to get away, and eventually Erica just going to chase him down. Even with the sprint up on the Slaughter, it's just not enough against the slow of Erica.
Just a little bit too much coming out. Overstays is welcome and is forced back. Nice kill to pick up there for the side of Vici. 1-3 start for Vici. Looking good already.
Dispose is there. God King, he's going to try and fight here against Frisk, but there is a lot of damage being pumped down with the Whirling Death. They are not going to have enough. XCJ could try for the chase, but Frisk, he's going to be just fine. He does have his self cancelled by the treants of the Prophet. So at least you get a little bit of value there for God King, but gives his life away to Vici Gaming, and that's never really going to feel too good for him.
Yeah, they're finding the punishment for that NP. He's lagging behind in CS now, as they are able to just threaten onto him. The good thing is that God King can jungle at this point with level 3 treants, so you can just kind of abandon that lane, allow XCJ to soak some EXP up. That is a free lane for BAB though. And that does mean the Timbersaw is going to be, again, finding that quick yields out and might be aggressive early on.
Fishman. Yang, he's got the glimpse back, but it's too close to his tier 1 tower. They're not going to bother even trying. Well, XM will get his bottle refilled here by their Marcy, but this mid lane just doesn't get any easier. White Album basically doubling up the CS of XM now. So this Kunkka, he's had such a great lane. Feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure on his back to try and really set a pace for their team on the side of Fusion. So you look back at God King, you look back at this Slaughter, they've got a lot of catching up to do by the looks of it after this laning stage. So a lot of pressure on White Album to really set the tempo for his team, not allow Vici Gaming to do so themselves.
Yeah, he does have some good stacks to clear out down the line, or they might surrender that over to God King. They do have really good burst potential down. Physical burst at least, with a Corrosive Haze already up and running on Fishman. The issue is when do they start connecting? Because for now, God King's more than satisfied to just hold mid, kind of keeping up with the puck, although XM is keeping up top here.
And Fishman, he's going to try to run. Yang, he holds onto the glimpse. Fishman, there is going to be a coil just to make sure this slippery fish cannot get away, and he will not. You might argue, John, that's a bit of overcommitment, but I think for the Slaughter, considering how much of an important job he has this game, that's a great kill to have for Vici Gaming. There's now bottom lane, XCJ, going to be chased down by BAB. Level 1 chains is up, so it's a bit of a slow process on this chase. And BAB has lost vision of the Dawnbreaker, so in the end, XCJ this time is going to be just fine.
Yeah, does manage to work his way out. Still, the action across the map definitely in favor of VG. It's some room coming out for White Album to shove in mid, but it's a Kunkka trying to push. It's not the quickest thing. It does feel like Fusion's gonna have to wait a little bit more before getting aggressive, although boat's out.
Oh, mid lane, they've got the puck. XM,
Ah, it's not to me.
no way out of that one. Had the phase shift, but couldn't find a way to use it. Mid torrent naturally, and they do take down that mid puck. While that was happening, they do lose their Dawnbreaker on the side of Fusion, but you don't really care. If you're finding the mid puck like that, you're more than happy.
Yeah, you just surrender that, and you, again, get a really good damage onto the mid-tier 1. This is without God King showing up. There is room down bot here for BAB to kind of push in with Frisk. Tower's pretty much gone. Lane abandoned by God King, of course, as it's too tough. Just finding his own farm in the jungle, as the Nature's Prophet tends to do. Again, going back to Fusion, the one issue they will have now is that they need to wait for key items. Like, Fishman is going for the Echo. You're probably going to want the Blink on top of that to be able to really connect with White Album's moves. White Album is also going for the Orchid, so at least a couple of those items should line up. Once you have that silence, holding down the puck is going to be an easy job. VG, for their part, and they're almost ready in BAB. Yules is almost done into the Kaya Sanj. He will go for a little bit more durability and able to frontline there. Erica, the armlet still a ways off. They are trying on White Album.
I mean, they're trying, but it's a very lackluster attempt here. Double damage rune. Going to be denied off here by Victoria. That may have cost him his own life, but the team is right behind him to try and help out. Victoria, he'll survive for now, but a nice chakram out from BAB. Going to secure the kill as the glimpse back from Yang is back onto Fishman. And this Slaughter probably not going to survive through this, as they do take him out. 2 for nothing, the way of VG Gaming. The only positive being you denied the double damage, but it's a very expensive denial.
Radiant's middle tower
It is, and that's a lot of heroes grouping up mid now, looking for their own little shove in onto that tier 1. They cut the tree line to prevent any sort of moves after Fusion. And Fusion, for their part, they don't look to have a lot of fight. They've got the boat, they don't have a good angle still for the Slaughter without the blink. Forced to use the Fortify to just kind of hold back, but a little bit more poke from VG and that could fall.
Throw it out, he's going to try and to Frisk. Marcy still fine for now, but a lot of damage being dealt here onto the Marcy, still the infest. He's going to protect Frisk. He will run for his life. Earn charges, probably not going to be enough either. He'll survive on 20 HP. It's now BAB. He does cop an arrow, but there's no follow-up damage. White Album already committing the boat. Won't have enough for the timber. They're still trying to chip away, but now White Album, he's going to be chased down. Coil will be there to lock him down as a static storm, even being dropped right on top of his head. And they will secure the mid-Kunkka. BAB just keeps going onto Victoria. They do at least find the timber. Victoria will drop as they go for a bit more. Onto Erica now, XCJ. He does land a Starbreaker, but it's not going to mean much. Erica will be just fine. A 2-for-1 trade. White Album to drop. They do at least find BAB on the timber. But it's still going to be a positive trade the way of Vici Gaming.
Yeah, they're really happy. Like, they kill off the Kunkka, who, as you mentioned, is trying to be that tempo set for the team. Oh, nice X back,
Whoopsie.
right as the glimpse came out. Very nice. Bailed himself out of that embarrassing situation. Never TP in front of the Disruptor, as we've seen time and time again. But 3 to 10, VG with this momentum looking really damn good. And Fusion, they have to kick it down a notch. They need to wait for more on Fishman. Like, this Slaughter is just dying up front after tossing out a couple of corrosive hazes. Echo Saber almost done, but you really want a blink this game. If not a blink, then a BKB. Like, it's got to be one or the other. He needs to be able to do more than just run around in all these fights.
is under attack.
Certainly agree with that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
God King at least will get started on the top tier 1 tower now. Have no issues taking it out, but they give up their mid tier 1 for this. It's not a good trade at all. Now bot lane, Fusion. Chasing XCJ, it was just BAB chasing. We'll let him go behind the tier 2 tower. It does feel like Fusion, they are kind of accepting the fact that they are not in a position where they can really force a fight. They're just taking any trade they can get, but now with the lifesteal at top of the net worth board and is closely followed by BAB, it's a bit of a rough position for Fusion. Especially with their draft, John. You fall behind, it's very hard to catch up.
Yeah, it can be quite difficult to match that pace of VG in the mid game. They do still have scaling left. I don't think it's that doom and gloom just yet. God King is farming fairly good, and
Dire's middle
progression's
tower is
still there
under
for White
attack.
Album, but they are definitely not the guys forcing these engagements. Look at VG, smoked up as two, just XM and Yang, looking for a play here.
Hiding for now. Static Storm going to be dropped. Instead, they're going to find Victoria on the Mirana. She will drop. The brighter side, Fishman does get away. So at least you don't find the more valuable target if you are Vici Gaming. And well, in the meantime, God King actually found the tier 1 mid tower. He just threw the whole tree and army in, and eventually they got the tower down. So not too bad of a pickup here for Fusion now, but Vici, they see White Album. BAB will be on the chase. They'll also see XCJ, but the Timber alone doesn't really have the lockdown. Only a Yule Scepter up on that Timber. That's going to be enough. They'll back their way out once again here, Vici.
Just kind of play it safe, don't want to overextend. There's some good vision now from Fusion in their own jungle. They can kind of protect it fairly well. We're about to hit the Desolator timing here for God King. And that should allow him to split push even more effectively and just kind of find an opportunistic angle in. Target down heroes with a Corrosive Haze. Just kind of melt them. That will soften up BAB quite nicely. And does yields away from the combination. White Album just kind of flaking, poke, and tag. The Orchid is up on White Album as well, but you need to see that on someone.
CJ going to be caught out once again on that Dawnbreaker, and will drop very quickly to Erica. Not a very good game whatsoever for the Dawnbreaker thus far. You know what, John? In fact, hold that thought, because Fishman's on the chase now with this Moonlight Shadow, but Sentry Wards are down, so they've got the vision. Fusion, do you really want to force this fight? BAB's right here. Fishman, he is going to get caught out. Static Storm is down to zone the rest away. Solar Guardian is going to fly through, but Fishman is already down. They'll keep trying to fight. Frisk at least does drop to XCJ, but he will die immediately. And that's a dieback on the Dawnbreaker. 15.5 minutes in. And look at Yang. He's chasing for a bit more now. White Album barely getting out of vision. Max Glimpse was available, but they just did not have the wards to give the vision over on the Kunkka. White Album still sticking around for that 16-minute power rune. Arrow is going to land onto the Disruptor. It's not worth his life. Yang is still running, still fine. Eventually does drop. White Album, he'll try for the TP play up, and the Yule Scepter's there. BAB's got him. White Album's going to drop. You find a Yang Disruptor, but for your mid Kunkka, it's just not the trade.
No, definitely not. VG just playing so aggressively, and the side of Fusion just doesn't look ready. Like, they've got this pickup potential with the Kunkka Mirana, haven't been able to play off the back of it. You had a pretty decent enough start here for Fishman. He's going for the BKB next, so again, gonna have more options to do in the middle of these fights. God King, with his own build, Mask of Madness Desolator, he's actually really just farming. Like, he's just playing Farm Simulator right now. Maybe looking for a couple of split pushes here and there, but he's not contributing to his team. Compare that to Erica, who's #1 in net worth and still shows up to these fights. Goes for these infest plays, goes for these infest saves, and he's just having more impact. It's like, you feed this guy to gold, he will instantly give you returns, whereas for God King, it's like a long-term investment there, and you've got to ensure that you still have a game to play once this NP's ready.
Absolutely. Apologies to anyone out there getting PTSD from the word investments right now. John, you should be a bit more thoughtful, I think. Vici game, 3-man smoke up. Don't laugh about it, John. There's a lot of money being lost around the world right now as XCJ. Top lane again might be the unfortunate victim here of Vici Gaming.
Gun
Actually gonna
with the
avoid them.
smoke.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You do find him out, Frisk. Looking for the rebound, but gonna be way out of range. Instead, they'll focus the top tier 1 tower. They do have time to try and defend the bot lane if they really want. Vici, they do bring Yang over. Yang, who'll have a look around for a glimpse attempt on someone. No vision out. Fishman, who have the guise of the Moonlight Shadow. So they won't be able to see him either. There's no sentry wards around. So Vici, I mean, they got a top tier 1. That's about it, though. They wanted some kills, and they're not going to find that. Nothing really else going to come out of this. Frisk?
Frisk?
I say nothing comes out of it, John. XCJ gets caught out top lane. Boat is going to fly in from White Album. They have at least found the Dawnbreaker already, and now White Album, trying to save his buddy, is going to pay for it, as even God King shows up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One by one, single file formation. Fusion. Ironic, John, with a name like Fusion, they went one by one. And Fishman, he's going to drop as well. Triple kill for Erika. We've all done it, John. I don't want to sound harsh. We've all done that before, but, you know, save your buddy syndrome. It never feels good when it doesn't work out.
Yeah, they don't have enough
mid lane.
damage to handle
Radiant's
Erika.
bottom
Oh.
tower is under
Victoria. They're just trying to kill off the Disruptor, but now goes down, and here comes BAB trying to cut him off. Yule's up. 2 lead charges available. XM's going to show up, though, with a Dream Coil. It's going to be a full team wipe. Vici Gaming, they found the 5th piece of the puzzle for the side of Fusion. This game is looking rather ugly now.
Yeah, look, it's gonna take a long time for God King to actually feel like he's got damage. He's going for the MKB next. You've got this mid-game spike already set up for Vici at 20 minutes in. They can just look for these objectives. It doesn't take them too long to kind of melt it back. The next spikes here for Fusion is going to have to be that BKB on Fishman and the BKB on White Album. And then a Blink on Fishman. I think that's where you have to go. You really need a Blink Initiator. You need to break up VG just doing what they want. You kind of actually do have to find Yang and punish him. Because if the Static Storm comes out, if even just a Kinetic Field comes out, you suddenly lose the mobility your heroes have. You kind of want to dance around with the Slaughter, dance around with a Mirana. The Disruptor doesn't allow that, and Yang has just been positioning himself really well. In the laning phase, he was punished a couple of times, but come his mid-game decision-making, it's shaping up to be really good.
Yeah. It's 5-20 now. 5k advantage for Vici Gaming. You're starting to really think about Roshan very soon, I think, for Vici. They've got the damage, they've got the team fight, they've got everything they can ask for. Only thing is, you just want to make sure all the lanes are pushed out so God King can't do nature's prophet things. It can be very annoying with all the ratting and split push that can happen. That's kind of the state of the game right now for Fusion. That's kind of what you're relying on, is God King just being able to drag out the game for as long as humanly possible. DG Gaming, however, they are going to go for that Roshan we just talked about. It's just not going to take long. Or even Yang kind of implying that they are roshing at the moment with these voice lines. There's just nothing Team Fusion can do about it.
No. They just need to farm. They need to use the space as best as they can. I'm curious about something. I don't think you and I have still seen the new NP Shard, the Curse of the Old Growth. I think we actually might have seen it once, but it feels like it could be useful in some of these skirmishes. I don't know if you'd even have the room to buy that out. XCJ dodges out a bit of a gank up top, and he is making slow progress onto the Ags. So you will have that evasion up fairly shortly at least.
Yeah, problem is Victoria does end up going down bot lane, but yeah, considering the state of the game, your supports right now, they understand they have to die to just split push these lanes at the moment. It's all you can do. You know you can't force a 5v5 as Fusion. Just keep split pushing the lanes for as long as humanly possible. And that they are. They're doing a very good job of it. You just got to ask yourself, at what point is God King going to feel like a menace on this Prophet? And I'd say the answer is probably going to be level 25, when he can literally just split push infinitely, and the game is cat and mouse after that.
Yeah, and that's still a long ways off.
Speaking of God King, John, he's been caught. Yang had the glimpse back. They had the vision this time. And God King, he's not a happy man right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's still level 13, and at level 25 you mentioned there, Mike, is a pipe dream at this moment. And Erika, again, he's just so active. He doesn't need that much. He knows he doesn't need to sit back and play this as a farming game. They can be just working the map, shutting it down, not giving any room. Maybe just chasing away XCJ. Poor Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, Yules is up. XM's there. You've got Solar Guardian if you want to commit that to try and get away. Not going to help. He won't even bother trying. XM, pick up a killing spree now. 3rd kill of the game for the puck. 7k advantage. Vici Gaming really not struggling whatsoever. Look at this. XM, he's going to find Fishman. He has the coil up as well. He'll probably commit it for this. Fishman, he's going to try to... In fact, they might not even need the coil here, John. BKB up. Fishman, he'll go for a run with the BKB. TP is up and available, and looks like he is actually going to make it out. Very nice from the Slaughter. Meanwhile, top lane, Yang, really enjoying the voice lines at the moment as Frisk. Gonna see the Mirana. Not gonna be able to make the jump in. Victoria, he will be okay.
Yeah, Yang is really enjoying it. To be fair, a lot of these South American ones are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very good voice lines to spam in the game, Mikey. So you can't fault Yang for that. It's just having a
Where's
good
your
time.
voice line,
Who
John?
wouldn't? Well, I wouldn't want to hear my own voice in the game, Mikey, so thank
Yeah.
goodness for that. Don't have to hear. Besides, no one would spam it, so that's good. Very
I don't
good
think you have to
voice,
worry about it too long, Jonathan. I think you're-
Mikey. Still,
think Valve's-
I mean, who
Valve's
wouldn't?
beating
A prize.
Who wouldn't have voice lines when you're 5 to 23 as they find another support?
Absolutely.
It's
That'll be
time.
Victoria copying the Dream Call once again. XM just loves leashing this Piranha up,
Illusion.
although no detection. Fun fact, if you've never played Dota, detection is illegal to buy on core players, and they will make sure they follow the law there as mid lane. XCJ does end up dropping once again. Vici Gaming, they'll head into the mid-tier 2 tower.
Speaking of Dota laws, Mike, technically there's a move speed laws, and there we're capped at 550, but how about the heroes who break the move speed limit? Do they get ticketed end game, you reckon? They get penalized or something?
You can't get penalized if you never get caught, John. It's an old saying from where I was brought up. You know?
Do not listen to Mike as legal advice. Do not follow his advice on road safety at all.
Radiant's
So no.
bottom tower is under
As they
attack.
go into the high ground,
It's a miracle I'm alive right now, John. Erica, they'll take the mid-tier 3 tower. Run their way out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Very, very easy for Vici, no real pressure. You know, I never implied I broke the law, Jonathan. I'm just saying, you know.
Radiant's
how the saying
bottom
went.
tower is under attack.
yeah, it's true. That's true, Mikey. I like that you can cover yourself in case something, some legal process happens. You've got your back covered. Very smart of you.
Radiant's bottom tower
I played the
has
5th,
fallen.
John. I played the 5th, that's about it.
I still don't know what that means. I'll be honest with you. I hear so many of my, like Western friends say that, and like we don't use that in the Philippines. Maybe we don't have a 5th, whatever the 5th is, the 5th Amendment is.
I think it's an American thing, Jonathan. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry. Nobody understands. Nobody gets it.
Could I plead the 4th? The 3rd?
Nope.
Could I plead
Absolutely not.
the 6th?
No.
Much better
Sadly
numbers than
not.
5.
Yeah, I'd say so. Fusion. What are they doing right now, John? I mean, 10k behind. They're losing objectives all across the map. I know it's all about delaying the game, but is there anything else they need to do, or is it literally just God King needs to keep hitting creeps and keep pushing out lanes?
God King needs to hit creeps and keep pushing lanes. That is literally it. Maybe blink timing and Fishman might allow them to do literally anything
XM.
else.
XM. Gonna find
yeah.
XCJ. XCJ is... Oh, no
Radiant's
Dream
top
Coil this
tower
time.
is under
XM gonna
attack.
show some mercy. Fair enough. Top lane in the meantime. John, T2 Tower's going down. BG Gaming just...
Radiant's
No
top
contest
tower
for them.
has fallen.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of creep cutting out from God King at least. Yeah, I am very curious about one thing. If you could, and I want you to take a look at the upper left corner of the map, why is Flyby's courier, White Album's courier up there with a Hyperstone?
That's a good question, John. Fishman is going to
What
catch out
is it
Yang
doing
on
there?
Disruptor, and Yang is going to go down. Meanwhile, bottom lane, White Album does end up dropping, John. There you go. The courier.
Sending his courier home.
Well, some
there?
players don't know how to micro couriers, Jonathan. Leave the poor man.
Nah, I think it was being chased. He hit it in the tree line and just left it. Well, high ground begins. America. I mean, he's got the safe damage. How do you kill this guy? You just don't have the damage.
Fishman, he's going to try. Look at the damage just from the Chakram alone. Solar Guardian in, but is it going to work with the Aghanim Scepter? Fishman, he'll survive for now. Maybe they can try to turn it. God King, meanwhile, in the backside, has been caught by the Dream Coil. It is not going to work. Fusion, they've got to run. There goes 3. Victoria, XCJ, they call. They've had enough.
Nah.
The game's over. It's a full team wipe. Vici Gaming proving to be way too strong for game number 1. I think with the drafts, John, like, you look at the laning stage of Fusion, the only lane that worked out was the mid lane. That was the only lane that worked out for the side of Fusion, and with this kind of draft, it can't be like that. Like, the off lane at the very
No.
least with the Slaughter Mirana has to win.
Yeah, I think I take issue with the fact that they opened up with Nature's Prophet. That just allows that Timbersaw pickup for BAB, and he played a fantastic Timbersaw game.